Aesthetic, episode 88. Hopefully you're having a phenomenal day today, whatever day you're listening or perhaps watching this podcast over our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Sparky3. Give us a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, be a friend, tell a friend. It's time. You know, this was a big week for games. It's kind of just really kicking off what we can get out of this month of June, which has just a ton of announcements all over the place. And joining with me, as always, to talk about these set things is John and Zach. Boys, how we doing? How we feeling today?
I'm doing good, ready to go. Start of June.
We're
already hitting strong with State of Play and other stuff that came out this week.
Man, no joke there. What about you, John?
I'm doing all right. Seems like we got a pretty good start so far.
That's one way to put it, because like a lot of people are saying and that this is probably the best State of Play that they've ever had for Sony ever.
Yeah, definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, that's the common phrasing of this State of Play is best one ever. So we're going to chat about that here today. Of course, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet got a new trailer. Got to chat about that with all the news that came out with it also on the Pokemon website. A lot of stuff to dive into there that makes it very, very interesting. Sonic Frontiers, some gameplay trailer. You know, I'm going to chat about that a little bit. Chat about potential concerns. Dive into that. And then speaking of diving in, we're going to be diving into something. We got an update on Blue Box Game Studios, ladies and gentlemen. It might be the last one, though. from the update that we got, it might be the last one.
Yeah, it might be the last one.
Yeah, but, you know, that's why we're going to chat about, lead off the show, then have a good time. Of course, go check us out at our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free or sign up for $5 a month. Show us a little support. Go follow us over at Twitter at GameStuckPod. We definitely appreciate that. With that said, let's go ahead and jump into stuff, boys, because we really do have a pretty loaded show, which also, speaking of it having a loaded show, I just want to point out that I think it's funny that we have like this awesome fucking kick-ass loaded show. We actually toyed with taking a break. Because I pitched it. I was like, hey guys, we talked about last week potentially taking a break this week. It's like this would probably be our last opportunity until July, and then here we are with this. It's like, oh well, good thing we didn't take a break. If we would have announced last episode, hey, we're taking a break and all this happened, we would have to retract that break.
Yep.
Yeah, I would have just posted on Twitter, hey, no breaks happening, guys. We're recording an episode. There's too much, way too much to talk about. Let's lead things off with Blue Box though. Potentially the final update on this.
Thank God.
John's so done with this. John
he's tired. He's
tired.
Blue box hats.
Yeah, Zach's got it right. It's not that I'm tired of the news. I'm tired of you guys with the news.
I've been so invested in this, in this saga, this story, because for so long everyone was just dead ass determined it had to be Kojima. It had to be Kojima in Silent Hill. And there were so many signs that played towards it, and it's also now that we've gotten to the point that we are, it's totally Blue Box's fault because they played into a lot of it, right? Yeah. Right. But yeah, the latest update I saw earlier, and I started seeing a couple of articles pop out earlier this week as well about this before I sent the one that I shared with you guys from GameSpot, because a couple of the smaller ones that I saw were from like news publishing sites where it's like, can I trust you sort of thing, you know? But GameSpot is one that I feel like we can all kind of trust. You know, it's a pretty notable gaming news site where basically when it comes to Abandon, the game is dead. There is little to no development happening right now at Blue Box Game Studios for this game. Just apparently they have a horribly toxic Discord private server, as well as apparently someone at Blue Box got in a sexual relationship with a fan, something of the sorts. I don't know, but from everything that we're seeing, Blue Box is It might finally reach the point that you kind of like were asking a year ago, where it's like, how the fuck are they still operational? Yeah. We might reach that point now where they might not no longer be operational. But again, like the game is apparently just completely dead, you know, after uninspiring teases of flip-flops of the truth with an exclusive fan chat room that was organized. And you know, the funny thing is, these past couple months, anytime I've seen anything Blue Box come out, like any sort of like small article, right? Hassan comes and steps into play and like responds to the tweet to the person that tweets like, hey, I'd love to chat with you. And like the next day, that same person puts out a new article saying, oh yeah, me and Hassan chat. I'm like, did you put like a gun to his head? Like I'm confused what's happening here. This is the complete 180. Like what's going on?
Hassan was doing some like shady ass mafia shit. Just like, why are you talking shit?
No, basically, and that's kind of what this article just kind of details is that like, you know, Hassan basically just kind of was like kind of paying some people off and shit. Like it's wild, dude. And when it comes to the situation, the one thing that I keep coming back to that I just find so fascinating and so hilarious is the fact that like this isn't just some random indie game that got like a lot of steam behind it out of nowhere. No. This was promoted by fucking Sony on their blog site, and that's what makes this so fascinating is that Sony like got fleeced in this. Because I mean, like, dude, getting like in those blog posts, that's a lot of money. Me and you chat about that.
Yeah,
where it's just like there's no way that this company is making enough money to try to handle that sort of shit,
because they've
right?
literally made no money on any project they've done.
They've canceled every project they've ever made. So that's another reason why everyone was so dead ass determined that it had to be Kojima. It had to be Kojima because like Sony, promoted it, like gave them the blog post spot and everything. And with where we are now in 2022, that does not seem to be the case at all. This is actually an indie developer that somehow just got pulled one over on Sony. I don't know. It's embarrassing for Sony, honestly.
And then the possible Kojima rumors came out, and they just started playing into it to get more traction. Because from what it seems like with everything we've heard about this, with this new article release, is just they were trying to milk this for anything they can, regardless of what it was, to the point that one of them got sex out of it. So,
yeah, and also the article points out that like some previous tweets that was put out from like Hassan's account as well as the Blue Box Twitter account, like kind of teasing potential like upcoming like announcements. Because you gotta keep in mind this playable demo, whatever that was literally nothing.
That never happened.
Yeah, was then turned into like you were gonna get the prologue and then the full game. Like there was all these teased tweets about it and stuff. All those have gone back and been deleted. So. What a joke. What a joke. What a sinking ship this whole thing was. But it was fun to talk about while it lasted. At least for us. John, not so much. John wasn't even on the show really at that time, besides just like, as a guest. And he is sick and tired of this shit.
That's because I was like helping you edit the shows and everything then, and every goddamn week.
Here's the clip.
Every week you'd send me, you go, hey, we talked about Blue Box again. And I'm like, why? Why?
The only sad thing from this is that even if this abandon actually finally dies, and I get my stupid thing that I said a long time ago was the game was what we were experiencing now, just abandonment.
Yeah, being abandoned, yeah.
I would not be surprised if, like, in a couple years, Blue Box or Hassan or somebody pops back up again with some of their bullshit scheme.
I fully expect it. With the track record of Blue Box Game Studios, they'll come back. It's just a matter of when.
Some form or fashion.
Yeah. They'll at least try.
Yeah, they'll try with another game. Probably not with Sony this time, though.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably have to go back, just try to put it on Steam or something.
If they don't get blacklisted from this.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
It's like that's probably a blacklist from Sony.
Yeah, no, it's done on Sony's front. So, well, anyway, enough of that. Speaking of Sony, let's talk about the state of play. Again, this is like being talked about as like possibly the greatest state of play that's ever happened.
Which is very interesting considering most people going into it was unsure about it because it was a third party in VR. State of play.
Yep, a lot of low expectations because of that.
That might be why people are calling it the greatest one, because nobody. It's like. They didn't say exactly what was being shown. They just said third party and VR stuff. So people are like, who knows? We'll give it a shot and see what happens. It's not like when they do a big state of play centered around their next big game or their next big series of games, and then people watch it and they go, well, that's not exactly what I was expecting it to be.
Right.
This one, people just go into it and they're like, well, let's just see what they got.
Yeah. Which immediately led off with an absolute like banger of an announcement, something we've been waiting on for, I think, like pretty much all this year. I mean, because it was like pretty much all this year we've been waiting for the announcement of Resident Evil 4 remake.
I mean, I haven't.
Well, I mean, as an industry, as an industry, everyone's been waiting on this announcement.
I mean, Resident Evil 4 is going on the same path as Skyrim.
It's actually past it, but
has it surpassed it now?
Yeah. I think it actually surpassed Skyrim before this, but now this further drives the nail in the coffin that it is surpassed Skyrim.
I mean, I won't be mad though. I mean, they definitely gave it the rehaul. It looks good as fuck.
Yeah, it does. And it actually dropped a release date too of March 24th, 2023. Also with the little tidbit that's going to receive VR2 content,
which will be interesting.
Yeah, and then after that, that's when they dove into the VR2 content, which was an interesting approach because I was actually dead-ass determined that the show was going to end with all the VR2 content. Yes. But they actually let off with it, which I think is better. I thought that worked out a lot better.
And which showed off quite a few VR games, which looked very interesting. For one, Resident Evil 8, completely playable in VR from what it looked like.
I saw someone tweet, she's like, so you're telling me I can get stepped on by a tall lady in VR? Sign me up. I
was not surprised by that. Because if you noticed during that Resident Evil Village trailer, it was mostly tall lady and her daughter.
Yes, that it was the focus, even though we know that is not the whole game.
And then they also mentioned, for just Resident Evil in general, there's some type of DLC in creation, didn't they?
Yeah, DLC's been talked about for Resident Evil 8 since like last year.
Yeah.
But it's still this matter of like, oh, when are we gonna get the announcement for it? We also had Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Chapter 2 for PSVR 2, and then No Man's Sky for PSVR 2, which I thought actually looked pretty clean.
I mean, it looked clean. It looked good.
Yeah.
Then had the Horizon Call of the Mountain, which I wasn't really sure what that was. It almost looked like an on-rails thing.
I think it was. I really do. I saw some people kind of talking about afterwards where it's just like they didn't think that it was as on rails as they thought it was going to be. I actually disagree. I think it's very much on rails. I really, really do.
Well, I mean, I couldn't really tell from how that trailer was shown because there was those few weird moments where it made it seem like you were actually actively climbing, which could very well be an on-rails thing, but at the same time, it's sort of just like, that seems like a really weird thing for an on-rails thing.
Mm-hmm. No, and that's fair, because there's also the moment where it's like you were going across the rope, whatever, and stuff like that. No, I mean, I will say it looked awesome. I will say it looked
good.
Yeah, it looked really good. I was very impressed with it, but let's not kid ourselves, ladies and gentlemen watching. That was on rails. Like, I was watching that, and that really felt on rails to me. Because I don't know. I'm curious how No Man's Sky is going to be more than anything with VR. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like while we are progressing with VR and things are getting bigger and better and better, it's just like how much can we really have like a completely open game in VR? You know what I mean? And then like that since that's what Horizon's known for. I don't think they were taking this approach for Call of the Mountain because it really did look on rails to me. From point A to point B that they were going throughout the whole trailer, it felt like you were on rails. I could be wrong. They didn't say afterwards if you were on rails or if it was completely open. I don't think. I feel like it won't be completely open. Still looks cool as shit, though. It did look very, very good. I will say that. Then the next thing that we added up was with some Horizon Forbidden West content. New Game Plus is finally here. Some new weapons, transmog, a couple other things. Ultra hard mode that I most definitely will not be playing. And then Spider-Man Remaster coming to PC this August. And Miles Morales coming later this year. A lot of people were digging up an old tweet from Insomniac in 2017 that Spider-Man was going to forever stay on the PlayStation. It is a Sony exclusive. Everyone's just like, well, this aged well. I mean,
it's still a Sony exclusive. Sony's just pushing to PC.
That's true. So it's a matter of time before they get their own client, like we've talked about before. They just keep pushing out so much content on the Steam. I will say for Spider-Man going to PC, that might be one of the only ones out of all these Sony titles that's been released where it's like I kind of want to get it on PC.
Yeah,
that's the only one so far. Like God of War, like it'd be cool. I'm not the biggest God of War fan in the world. Horizon, I mean, it'd be kind of cool, I guess. But Spider-Man, like I would actually really like to play that on PC. I think that'd be cool.
Like Spider-Man going to PC, it's great because it's like I know a lot of people that like wanted to play the game, but they don't have PlayStations. So it coming to PC is nice. The only thing that's going to be disappointing again is the fact that it's a Sony game coming to PC years afterwards.
Oh yeah,
it's going to be $50.
Yeah, it's going to be at that high price point.
It's going to be $40 or $50 for it again, which I understand. Mm-hmm. They can get that out of the PC players because it's new there. They haven't played it before. Or it's like they haven't been able to play it, so they can't. It'd just be nice to see. It'd be nice if some of the games they brought over were brought down a little bit to be more in line with like what they are on consoles. It's still gonna sell. Like it's a game that people love, people rave about, and people want to play. The game's gonna sell when it comes to PC. True. Every game they've released so far to PC has done phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And I also want to say, even if it does come at that price, it's totally worth it though. Like, I mean, I know it's annoying because it's an older game, but it is totally worth it. Though.
I mean, it's worth it. It's just it's hard to justify sometimes when you're looking through PC games and you see, and like if you see it priced $50 and then you check on like the PlayStation Store or something and see in their shop that it's like $20-$30.
Right. Oh, I'll also add on to this. I saw someone tweet about this earlier. I think it might have been Final Fantasy 16 is what it was involving. That it was listed at that next generation price on Steam for $70. So just something to keep in mind there.
I could see that because when they first announced it, they were sort of pushing that it was going to be the first one on the next generation.
Yeah, so even on Steam, $70 price tag for standard price, moving up to that next gen price, from the 60 to 70, whatever.
Speaking of Final Fantasy 16,
you want to go ahead and address it?
Well, no, I was just going to say what'd y'all think of the combat in that?
It looked very interesting, honestly.
So, my take on it, did you ever play 15?
A little bit.
Okay, so from what I got about it from watching that trailer is the combat seems to have transitioned from 15. So it's still, because 15 was that free flow action type combat in which it was showing that during the single part portion. The combat, I'm going to be curious because it didn't really show it all well. It just showed cinematic shots as how the fighting between the avatars are going to take place.
I was wondering that too because all we really got was it looked like cutscene animation attacks going off on it. So I didn't quite understand how that was happening.
So I'm going to be slightly concerned about that because from the shots they show were very cinematic during we did see the health bars above, and which from what it seems in the storyline that they're running with, that's going to be a big portion of the game.
Yeah, and in one of those shots, I don't know what damage numbers were, but it showed a fireball hitting into one of them and half the health bar disappeared.
Yeah. From
that one attack. I'm like, what? Okay. How is this actually? That's what made me think how is this going to work?
Yeah, because from what it looked like, it almost seems like that depending on how consistently it happens and what it's involved, maybe QTE based.
I could see that where it could be, I don't know. Because every time it showed that, it was also accompanied by a cutscene of the armies fighting each other.
Yes,
true.
So I'm wondering if the battle's happening down here, and then it just cuts away to something up here, depending on what's happening down here.
I would assume so, because based on the little bit we got from that trailer, it seemed like more. Because my speculation, from what I could see, because I haven't looked further into it, so I don't know if they released more details or not. This seems like it's actually taking place before the timeline of 15, and during the time of I think there was reference to it in 15, but it's been so long since I played 15, I don't remember what it was called. More or less, the kingdoms warring, and each kingdom has either their leader or some champion who is an avatar as one of the summons who you've spent in 15 running around and collecting. And each one of them is the main powerhouse, and just during these battles and that's going on across the world of all these different kingdoms and whatnot, you're also fighting it because it almost seems like your character's not associated with any of them, or he's an exiled or been enslaved by something and he's trying to be forced to be used because he's Infant, which is sort of a nice nod from Square Enix because Infant's one of their first ever summons, Aeons, GFs, whatever you want to call it.
Shout out.
So yeah.
But that after watching the trailer made me a little I'm a little more interested in seeing more about it now. Because previously I was looking at it, I'm like, I don't really know what it's going to be. We've had very little information on it.
Yeah.
Now it looks fun. Now it looks like something that's going to be good.
See, me being someone who's played through a large portion of the Final Fantasy series, I'm slightly concerned with it. I mean, the trailer looked great and everything, but I mean, I'll be very curious, at least me personally, flow of the world, story, and how frequent those kaiju battles are. I mean, I don't mind QTEs, but when half my fights are QTEs, I start being like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, that is concerning, but just from seeing the individual combats throughout the trailers, those looked more interesting to me.
I mean, those looked good.
Those look good, and those, because funny enough, the combat there, I didn't play a lot of 15, or I haven't played it in a while.
Yeah.
So I don't remember how it flowed as good, but I mean, it honestly reminded me a little bit of Tales of Arise. in the way that it looked and kind of almost the weight behind some of the attacks.
I could agree with that for 16 because at least from what it showed, it's going to be a lot more large scale battles. In which in 15 there was several large scale battles towards the end of the game, but for the most part, for people it was field hunting.
Yeah.
So it was quick encounters with some boss fights here and there, and for the most part, boss fights were like just playing Shadow of the Colossus. You're a bunch of small fuckers stabbing this giant fucker. Versus this one seemed like a lot more almost Dynasty Warrior style to me. It was like, I'm a single person. I'm going to just run through this shit.
Yeah.
And then when I meet a champion, they go beast form, I go beast form, and then we just wreck the entire map.
Yeah. Be fun to see.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see the next trailer. Maybe give me more hope or more worry, depending.
And that's what I'll be looking forward to, is if it's going to give you more hope or worried, because since you have played the Final Fantasy. Because as for me, for someone who's never really played Final Fantasy games, I thought it looked interesting, and like what you're saying, John, I'm at least interested now.
Yeah, it's like from not being really a Final Fantasy fan necessarily, but being a fan of kind of these action combat RPG style games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm liking what I'm seeing so far.
But hearing concerns from an actual person who plays Final Fantasy is very interesting. Yeah. So I'll be looking forward to seeing the next trailer, whenever that's going to be. We did get the release date or release window, summer 2023.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
which, like I said last week, not happening this year. We did.
Well, you also said last week we weren't going to see it this year.
Well, I started that, and then I said, and that's when you started saying potentially later this year. I went we haven't seen anything, so I don't see that happening.
That's fair.
But the only thing that would change that opinion is if it happened at this event.
That's fair. That's very true. Yeah, the Final Fantasy 16 being the big, close off of the show, and Capcom as a whole was just very like, Capcom and Square both were just like really prominent in this event. Yes. Between Resident Evil, Final Fantasy, and then Capcom with a kind of a pretty lengthy trailer of Street Fighter 6 as well, with a 2023 release.
Yep, some gameplay and character reveals. Finally get to see 2 of the new characters for Street Fighter. Was it 2 or 3? No, it was 2. 2 characters for Street Fighter 6, as well as older looking Ryu and Chun-Li.
Yep, and also they changed the logo, which I laughed as soon as it popped up on the screen.
I mean, I'm not surprised by that.
Yeah, with number one, how bad the previous logo was from just like last year or whatever, and then number 2, when everyone started finding it like online, like they literally just used this. Like, yeah, change the logo. I do want to give a shout out to that logo because I didn't notice this till someone else pointed out. If you look at how the logo is designed, like obviously it's designed to look like a 6, right? Yeah. But like with how it's all blocked off, the characters to the side of it is actually the Roman numeral for 6 as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was a nice little touch. I didn't notice that. All I know, like when I saw the logo, I'm just like, oh yeah, it makes a 6, whatever. And someone's like, oh no, look, it's also got the Roman numeral 6. I'm like, ooh, that's kind of cool. But yeah, new logo, full trailer breakdown for that as well as 2023. And
unfortunately, no Ryu bulge.
Yeah, no bulge this time. Damn it. Had a bulge last time. I loved when that happened because there was people coming out. Like the first one that really pointed out was Kaiser Neko, from Team 4-Star, who is, of course, gay and married, whatever. And he's just like, bless the person who took the extra time to highlight Ryu's bulge. The other thing about Street Fighter that was pretty interesting, got a lot of people chatting, was it will not be a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah.
It will be coming to Xbox and PC. So that's the first time in how long? I don't know.
A while.
Yeah. So, I mean, that was pretty interesting. No, Capcom and Square, they really put this event on their back and just said, come on, let's go. We also got another look at Stray with an actual release of July 19th. Also with that, it's going to be day one availability for the extra and premium tiers of the PlayStation Plus revamp.
I think is the first game we've heard with that.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Well, I think it's actually the second. I think there was one other game, but it was some random bullshit game.
Yeah,
I don't remember what it was.
Shadow Warrior 3.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one, but it didn't. That was just kind of like, it was like a one line in a post
Gotcha.
when it came out.
Yep. So Stray coming at that. So I will play it.
What the hell is this game?
I was wondering this too because I was looking at him like, are you just a cat?
Yeah, you're just going cat adventures. That's all you need to know. Is you play as a cat, you go on adventures.
In a dystopian world.
Look, I don't know what this game is either. Okay, I just want to play it. I want to play it. I'm playing as a cat. Okay, I want to play it. Cat's cute. It's a cute cat. I have no idea what this game is. To be completely honest with you, all I
If
know
you
is
don't
that
play day one, I'm gonna be pissed at you.
I'm gonna play it day one. What's the 19th?
We've heard that before.
Hold on. What day is the 19th? Is it gonna be in time for an episode? Let me look. Let me take a little peeky poo at the calendar. All right, so the 19th is a Tuesday. So I got you on July 23rd, right here at GameStatic at youtube.com/Sparky3. I'll chat about Stray. I got you. Also got a pretty lengthy look at the Callisto Protocol. I almost said project. With a December 2nd release. This is, of course, made by ex-Dead Space devs.
Yes.
And this looked absolutely fucking brutal. Like, Jesus Christ.
It definitely has the theme and feel of the original Dead Space, because when the trailer started, I thought it was the Dead Space remake. We were getting an update about it.
Right.
And then it went into everything. I was like, oh, it's not Dead Space. God damn, it looks like it.
Yeah. No, this absolutely just looked absolutely unbelievably brutal. Roller Dome was another one that was a very interesting.
I don't know how I feel about it.
It looked interesting. I'll say that. I'm not going to play it, but it looked interesting. Now, Eternights, though. Now, that one I'm interested in. That one actually looks pretty fun. With what? That was an early 2023 release?
Yes.
Yeah, just like a JRPG, JR like action game, whatever, and dating sim is essentially what it is. It looks
novel.
And visual novel. It looks fun to me. Like as soon as this started popping up, I'm like, this actually looks pretty cool. So I'm actually probably gonna play that one day one. I'm looking forward to seeing more on that one. Tunic's coming to PlayStation. Cool.
Which is weird. I thought Tunic came out on PlayStation. Was it just PC and Xbox?
I think it was. Yeah, I think it was just PC and Xbox.
Okay.
Yeah. Then a game called Season: A Letter to the Future coming out later this fall. I don't know if we've seen that previous or not.
We have.
Okay.
It was actually last Games Fest.
Okay, gotcha. Overall, how do you guys feel about the state of play? My stance on it is I acknowledge that it's one of the best, if not the best, state of plays ever. And like from taking my own personal feelings out, I'd probably give it an A. But for what appeals to me personally, I'd probably only give it like a C. Just because I'm not a Resident Evil fan, I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan, I'm not a Street Fighter fan. And those being the three heavy hitters, I acknowledge it was an unbelievable state of play for Sony though. How do you guys feel about it?
I mean, overall for me, I feel like it was a very good state of play. We did get the Resident Evil 4 remaster remake once again. I mean, honestly, the VR stuff looked really good.
It did, yeah.
Makes me really looking forward to VR stuff, and may actually look into getting me one in some towers here in the next year or so, because it's all looking very solid, especially because everything they showed off was pretty much AAA level.
Right.
Of all the stuff they showed.
I'm very curious when Sony's going to bring up the price tag for that. Because guys, I'm going to be real with you. That PSVR 2, I'm going to be shocked if it's under $500. Like, I will be shocked. I think it's going to be like a $600 machine. And I feel like it's going to be one of those cases where Sony's just going to like, okay, here's the price, and then just leave. Like, I really think that's what's going to happen.
I disagree with that.
Really? Okay.
Because I feel like Sony's whole stance on their VR is, with the VR 2, they're trying to actually get more people in the
That's fair.
into it, and I feel like their stance on it is VR that's like available to average people.
That's fair.
Is their stance on it, whereas like some of the VR for like PC and stuff like that is just stupid.
True. I will say with all these like 18 plus launch titles that they're going to have like day one, whatever, for PSVR 2, I know one that I feel like they really need to probably drop immediately on day one if they can work it out and get it done is Half-Life Alyx, because that's still considered like one of the best VR experiences out there. Like not even close. I mean, people were pissed that it didn't get nominated for Game of the Year because like that's how incredible it is. And because like what you're saying where VR is like such a niche space, there's so many people that missed out on that game.
You know what we need in VR? 12 minutes.
Dude, that would be nuts.
It would be nuts.
That would be. I actually just downloaded 12 minutes the other day and was messing around with it.
That game is ridiculous.
Yeah, like that would be insane in VR. So for sure. What about you, John? What was your overall thoughts of State of Play?
This State of Play, it's not necessarily appealing to me in particular, kind of like you.
Yeah, I feel that.
There's some definitely some things in it that I saw and I'm like, I'm gonna be very excited for this a year from now.
Yep. Eternights for me.
But I mean, I recognize why people are calling it like one of the best state of plays. I don't personally agree with that. I think part of like I stated before, I think part of it is just the fact that this is one of the few state of plays we've had where there's not been disappointments. Is why
that's fair.
Is why people are like so amped up about it. It's like it was just a solid like point hit on everything. But so for me, I'd say overall, I would say probably a B, depending on like future trailers we get for some of these games coming in 2023.
True.
It's like that'll be what I'm excited to see. More information coming about some of these games. But for the Capcom people, you got what you wanted.
Yeah, you're eating.
Resident Evil and Street Fighter.
Yeah, you're good. I will say one thing that is just like, I saw some people kind of point out, and I even have a concern with as well, is like, while the state of play was awesome, we still need to know more information about this year. You know what I mean? Like, we know Forspoken later this year.
This year's fucking shot.
Yeah, this year's kind of fucked, but I want to know exactly what do we have in anything. And we have Forspoken, we have Gran Turismo 7 coming out, the Cluesto project we got a date for. We know God of War is coming. Like what else? I mean, yeah, Gotham Knights is coming, but that's also multi-plat. So like, what else do we have coming from Sony this year, if anything? That's kind of where I'm at. I want to know, but I'm thinking with you at this point. I think this year might be shot.
I mean, Deathloop gets out of its 1 year.
That's true. It's 1 year exclusivity, whatever. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we may get some like surprise announcements here like this month.
Yeah, that is true, because with this state of play, it was officially branded as a Summer Game Fest state of play. They had the actual logo on it and everything.
It wasn't it?
Yeah, Sony is partnered with Summer Game Fest for like the first time in like 2+ years. Which I thought was very interesting when Summer Game Fest released their lineup of partners and Sony was on there. Which I do have the list of partners here for the weekly wrap up. But yeah, Sony is officially with Summer Game Fest this year, so I thought that was interesting. So this is the official kickoff for Summer Game Fest. The state of play was
Jeff Keighley just
rolling in his money. He's like Scrooge McDuck jumping into the cash.
But yeah, it's like we may get, like I said, we may get some surprise announcements coming out later this month. Sony may look at it and go, well, this was for next year. We still got something for you.
Yeah, and I think it'll be at this upcoming Thursday. I think it'll be at Summer Game Fest.
Can only hope.
Yeah, I can only hope. Let's hop over to the next thing. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer with a lot of info. Yeah, this was some hype shit. With the trailer itself plus all the info that was dropped on the Pokemon website. Because a lot of people, I want to stress this, they see the trailer and like if you're just they kind of just ended at that. You know what I mean? But no, you got to go digging. You got to just go over to Pokemon.com. And that's where they drop a lot of information on you. Like, a lot of information about the game that the trailer doesn't necessarily do. And there is a lot of info.
Yeah, that's where they put, like, anytime something shows up in a trailer from here out, they won't tell you anything. Yep. They'll just show you show you the animations of it in the trailer, or it may just be in the background or something.
Yep.
But when you actually go and look at the site, that's where they'll detail it out.
Yep. The biggest thing they detailed, which is huge, game changer, is that this is going to be a fully open world game. Okay. They literally say that you can experience a new style of adventure with a world that you are free to explore at your leisure and not in order dictated by the story. That's huge. This is a game changer for Pokemon. This is what everyone wants.
Yeah. And I will say, just as a quick side note to that, the way that the Pokemon Center and like Mart and everything look, it's just almost like a pop-up stand out in the world. Dude, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
It's like you're just kind of going around. It's like, oh,
there you go.
Oh shit, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
Right. Yeah. Heavy multiplayer focus. You can play up four friends co-op
in one game.
Yeah, which I thought was, in my opinion, with where Nintendo is at with online play, I thought was the perfect decision to make for Pokemon. I feel like them trying to really go for like an MMO would have backfired massively, in my opinion. I feel like reducing it down to 3 friends with you, I thought was the right play.
I saw the multiplayer thing and I just went, cool, another game Alex will never play with us.
That's a lie, and that one's a lie. I've put more hours on Shield than both of you combined.
Did you play with me?
No, we did raids together. That was it. I mean, that was your multiplayer with Sword and Shield. I did a lot of raids with people. Josh, you, Nick. I mean, I did lots of raids with people.
I never said you weren't going to play it. I just said you would never play it with us.
Well, That might actually, you know
I
what?
don't understand the jumping into someone else's world to play though.
See, that's gonna be interesting. And I will also say,
what's the incentive behind that besides just
for fun, like right,
or just like I'm gonna go this way, you go that way.
yeah.
I would assume it would allow for, depending on, because they didn't. I don't know. Did they specify on exactly whether it was going to be a shared world or if it was going to be in that game specific? Because the interesting thing, which would be looking at the fact that Scarlet and Violet seem to be almost two different timescapes, and sort of lean to, because Scarlet seemed to have more of a prehistoric vibe to it versus Violet had more modern, futuristic vibe. So maybe jumping into a friend's game would allow you to catch the Pokemon that may be specific to the other version you don't have.
Maybe. It's like that'd be interesting. Although you talking about the more modern vibe, I just gotta comment on the legendaries real quick. The fucking Violet legendary, you got fucking jet boosters.
Yes.
Dude, he looks so cool though.
He looks so fucking dumb.
He looks so cool.
So fucking
But they both look awesome. Let me stress that. Yeah. And also back to your original point from my play with you guys, I'm gonna be real. That's gonna be more on you guys than it's gonna be on me. I'm just gonna be real because I'm gonna be the one here that takes this game the most serious. Because like, look what I did with fucking Shield, dumping the amount. The only person who dumped more hours into Shield than me was Josh. That's also because that's all he had was a Switch. That's a different story though. So that's gonna depend on you two if you're gonna play with me.
You say that, you know how I am. I will put more time into it in the first month than you will, and then I will stop playing.
I don't know if you'll put more time into it,
That's what I do with
but
every
you will
game.
stop playing it after a month.
I've already proven it with triangle strategy, so.
Look, this is Pokemon. This is a different realm for me.
Yeah, to be fair, this is a different world than Triangle Strategy was.
Yeah, this is different for me, man. Because I'll be hard getting into the competitive stuff again too. Like, so this is gonna be my realm. Which also, I'm looking forward to seeing any more information come out throughout the rest of this year before release about. If like all of the unbelievable quality of life improvements for competitive from Sword and Shield carry over. That's one of the big things though. I imagine it would, but I'm looking forward to seeing more on that. Now, to the point that you made about the, like kind of like prehistoric vibe.
Aesthetics.
Yeah. No, that's actually been a pretty common leak here for a little while. And like, honestly, some of the leaks that I've been following all appear to be completely true based on how this all kind of plays out. Because like involving what you're saying, one thing is that, there's two different professors, which also for the first time ever, the professors are not named after trees, which I thought was
okay.
Yeah, and I didn't know what they were named after.
Are they named after time periods?
They're simply named after ancient and future, translated from Japanese. Spanish. It was Spanish. Yeah, translations from Spanish. Their names, it's like, they took the last four of both of the Spanish word for ancient and future. Then that's the professors, and it's the same thing for the two legendaries. Because it ends with a dawn, whatever, for both of them. I think it was Kudai Dawn and Mirai Dawn, whatever. That first part is both ancient and future in Japanese. So just a couple of fun facts for you there, because that's been a common leak here for a while. Is that it was going to be like a past future vibe, where it's going to be a traditional versus modern is how it's been described, which I feel like is going to probably be the more accurate way to describe it, because like I don't think Scarlet will be like taking place in the past or anything, but it's just people that are in this traditional way.
Yeah. Then
there's the people stuck in like the or in the modern way, whatever. I think that's kind of the vibe for it.
Tell you right now, I'll be taking that traditional route all day.
Scarlet. I was about to say I'll probably run Scarlet as well.
I know Josh is already dead set on Violet. I am currently leaning Violet. So if you guys play Scarlet, that works out perfectly. I will also say, based on the looks of the legendaries, the type leaks also appear to be true of Dragon Fighting, Dragon Electric, which also points to other type leaks, because this all comes from the same person, which is the mega hyper cringe Riddler, the most cringy individual on Twitter for me that I follow, because he has just his massive beef with Centro. Leaks, whatever, where he's just like, every post that he puts out, he's like, "Come here, Centro, my puppy, your dinner is ready." I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're so cringe. Why do you have to be the one factual insider we have? But he's also leaked like the starter types as well. And again, to me, the legendary type leaks appear to be 100% true based on their design. But if that's the case, starter leaks, the starter types would be like Grass, Dark, Fire, Ghost, and Water Fighting.
I just played with a Fire Ghost.
You get another one. And also another little fun tidbit here involving like all these leaks and stuff. Another guy that I've referenced before for like Pokemon Unite stuff because he's a data miner, Eclipse. Someone quote tweeted this, pulled it back up from a few weeks ago, where he was just like, "How do I tell everyone that blank are the same but also the opposite?" So indicating potentially the two legendaries are exactly the same Pokemon but from two different eras.
Yeah.
So that was actually pretty cool as well. So that also kind of points like, is time travel going to be like a big thing for this game potentially? Because it's already confirmed that Hisuian Pokemon are going to be in the game. Like you can get Hisuian Pokemon. They confirmed that with the original trailer. So it's just like, what's going to be like the big mechanics of the game? Is it going to be like time travel? Is it going to be like, there's been a lot of leaks from Eclipse where it's like, something involving like, the little crystal that was in like the Japanese logo that's going to involve like color theory.
Yeah.
So potentially move fusions, type fusions, who knows? But I mean, overall, like the trailer looked dope. Like the fact that it is going to be a fully open world game, because they've never really, besides like Legends, right? They've never really taken that approach where you can just go kind of do your own thing. They've dabbled in it. It
looks in some of the gameplay they showed, it seemed like it did take some things from Legends, because it seemed like for the catching may be similar to Legends.
Yeah, and actually, glad you mentioned that because something that someone pointed out, like the fine detail stuff in the battle with the ever so adorable Lechonk. In that battle, there's the UI on the screen. There is no experience bar.
Yes.
So indicating that it'll probably be how it was in Legends, where you all just get experience, with the experience share, which has been a common thing. But you all just get it post battle. So no experience bar anymore. Going with the Legends route, which I think could be really good.
I'll be very curious to hear more about the multiplayer stuff, because this would be the first true multiplayer Pokemon game, which could be very fun, especially with the free roam aspect of it. And so be very curious to see how all that works and how battles would work at that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was wondering. Because they did make a big point to talk about the multiplayer on the website. And it's a big section of it. And like I said, I don't see the incentive besides being in the same world right now, but it'll be interesting to see what like advantage or what benefit you get from that.
Yeah. And saying that with the shared world and stuff, the first thing that I thought of where it was something similar was the first thing that popped in my head was actually Far Cry 4. Because that was a game that me and Andy loved playing together online, but it was one of those cases where we couldn't progress the story together. Yeah, we were just in a world just to go dick off. We couldn't do anything else, which I think you guys played Far Cry 5 online together. Was it different for that one where you could progress?
5 was full campaign.
So see, that's where I'm curious how this will be. Is it going to be like Far Cry 4 where you just go dick off, or is it going to be like Far Cry 5 where you can do the actual story? That's what I'm going to be very curious about with what you're saying.
I'll be curious about it because one thing that we didn't really get to see from this trailer is gyms.
Yeah.
They showed off a shot of what looked like a gym, but we didn't see actually anything involving the gym.
Yeah.
So it almost makes me curious if the gyms will have different usual gym puzzles related to having multiple people. It'll be easier if you have multiple people versus doing it by yourself.
Right.
Well, that's you brought up Battalic. It's like, I thought about that too, because if you're in the same world and you see your buddy over there battling something, and you just show up and be like, well, now there's two of us.
Right.
Yeah, and it also brings in the question of, seeing as we do know Hisuian Pokemon are alpha is going to still be a thing.
Oh, that's a good question.
I wouldn't think so.
Or would they take the thing from Legends, the raids, and that just be a spawn with it instead of being alphas?
Oh, that's also a good question. I would think the raids may actually still be a thing. Since it's so open world, I feel like that could still be a thing. The alphas, I'm not sure. They may keep the alphas.
I wouldn't think they'd keep alphas, because then because if they're assuming that they're wanting to do the competitive around the game,
true.
You can't have the alphas.
Yeah, alphas would really.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So probably no alphas, but I could see raids still being a thing because they've already kind of messed with raids before, like in grass raids, like ORAS and X and Y and stuff. So I could see the raids from Legends still being a thing, 100%.
So yeah, the biggest thing besides that is just with them wanting to focus on multiplayer, what content are we going to have to really make this Pokemon worth doing multiplayer?
Right. I actually I think there's still going to be gyms in this game. I do.
I mean, they showed off.
Yeah,
they showed off a gym.
Well, I mean, I think it's going to be like the traditional sort of format in that regard, where it's like you still do the 8 gyms, you battle, the champion, whatever. But what I think they're going to do actually is I think they're going to have it set up where it's actually going to scale.
Well, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was going to bring that up.
Yeah. I think depending on where you want to go, it's going to scale, which is more accurate to how it's been depicted in a couple like pieces of Pokemon animation. Like Pokemon Origins is a great example where, you know, Red went to go face Brock and Brock had like 6 different Pokemon. He's like, oh, so this is your first gym. Okay, I'll use these 2. So it's, you know, it could be a similar like that. And because they've only dabbled with that off the top of my head 3 different times. Red and Blue, OG, you could kind of flip between, I think it was what, 3 gyms 3 to 5, I think is what it was. It was like Surge, Erica, and Koga, whatever, or maybe Sabrina. I don't think
Sabrina. Sabrina was out. I think you're right. It was Koga.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I think it was you got to do the first 2, Misty and Brock, and then Surge to Sabrina potentially was kind of like however you want to do it. And you know, with that, it also kind of carried over to Gold and Silver, and then also it did it again with Diamond and Pearl. Because I think it was after the 3rd gym, you could kind of choose between either do the Ghost Gym Leader or the Water Gym Leader. So they've dabbled with this before, but now they're going full blown, like just go do what you want. And also another thing that I think they're going to do where for both games, I think they're going to go all fucking out for different gyms. They already messed with it in Sword and Shield, where both games had 2 exclusive gyms. I think both games are going to have 8 exclusive gyms per game. You will not face the same gym leader in Scarlet and Violet. I think they're going to go that route. I really do. Because I think it's going to tie into like the traditional and sort of modern vibe that you're kind of pitching.
So I like I assume it's going to be a scaling thing, like you were saying, as far as gyms go. But I love the idea of like exploring the world and being like, oh, there's a gym up there. I'm gonna head that way. Walk in there and like you got like level 18s or something. You step through the door and the first trainer in the gym's like, yo, bitch, and tosses down like a level 55 or some shit.
I don't know why you're here, kid, but
it's like, oh, you found your way to me? Fuck you.
I think it's also possible as well that they take an approach like Legends where you can only get to each area as you progress to a certain point. So like out of like the 8 gyms, whatever, let's say the first area that you're mostly in is like you have these amount of gyms that are scaled to this level range, and like the next area will be scaled to this level range. Like I'm not saying you can't go to the other areas. I'm just saying gyms will be scaled based on other areas. So that's also a possibility. But I don't know. I think the full scaling across the board could be the better way. For the most part, I feel like this, based on story, they'll probably have it set up in some capacity where like at least the final gym is the final gym. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like that's a possibility, and the other 7 be completely do what you want.
Do we know if it's zone based like Legends was?
Not yet.
I kind of got the feeling it wasn't going to be zone based like that. Because
I don't
based
think
on
so.
how it showed off, no, it didn't seem like it.
I didn't think it was going to be, because with Legends, we pretty much knew different zones, different areas like that.
Right.
This one they're calling a true open world game.
Yep.
So it makes me think it wouldn't be that way.
Right. Super pumped though. Super pumped for it. I'm trying to think. The only other thing that I would love to see them kind of retain, and I want to see them retain it and expand on it in some capacity, is I would love to see them try to do the same approach they did with Sword and Shield for leading up to the champion, where you just don't go do an Elite Four, like you go through the tournament thing. I thought that was super cool in Sword and Shield. I do there's a part of me, because of just how long it's been a thing, that did kind of miss an Elite Four, but I also love the tournament vibe.
You think that's what the multiplayer thing is just when you get to that point, you just fight each other?
Ooh. That could be pretty solid.
I'm a fan of just the general Elite Four.
The Elite Four is spicy.
I love knowing that you're going to, like, you get to the end and it's like, all right, I know there's a champion back there, but I got to get through his 4 people first.
Right. And see, I do like the Elite Four, and they made the comeback. I wouldn't be mad about it, but I also like the tournament thing in Sword and Shield. I thought it was super cool. But then again, that was also the vibe of Galar, though. Was like the big, massive battles of that. That was Galar's thing. So I don't know how much that will carry over.
So yeah, I would be more down for the Castle Crashers thing of Castle Crashers. Once you defeat the boss to get the princess, you all had to kill each other.
That honestly, that would be pretty sweet. You know, just get in there and you have to duke it out with your friends. That would be pretty cool. But
it would suck though, because then your friends would have to redo it. Fight the champion.
But overall, I mean, that single 3-minute trailer just got so much hype. We only got, 3 new Pokemon? Yeah, 3 new Pokemon and the 2 legendaries.
But we also got some returning boys.
There was a lot of Pokemon revealed in this one that wasn't revealed in the previous. I've actually been building a list of Pokemon that is now confirmed for this game.
Yeah.
Let me see what my list is at.
Most notable one for me, just because I've established before I'm a Gen 2 guy, was Flaffy.
Oh, yeah, Flaffy was in there, yeah.
So I would have to double check the trailers, but as of now, I have counted 92 Pokemon confirmed. And then I've built another list of 20 or 30 that I assume will be in the game based on various reasons. Like, for example, all the Eevee forms, Tauros, since there was a little kid wearing a Tauros shirt.
Yeah.
Just various dumb things where it's like, I can assume this.
That would be the best thing. You have people walking around wearing like Tauros merch. He's not in the game.
That happened with Sword and Shield. I don't remember what Pokemon it was, but that happened in Sword and Shield, like the base game. There was a shirt you could get, but the Pokemon wasn't in the fucking game.
That's funny.
I don't remember who it was, though, but they came in later with the DLC. I also just assumed a third legendary. I assumed Smoliv would have 2 evolutions. Lechonk would have 1. The regional bug, just natural assumptions. But I'm up to 122. I'm trying to build this dex as much as I can, just because I'm addicted. I love Pokemon. So I'm very pumped for this with the release date of November 18th as well, right before Thanksgiving week. So that's cool. Don't know if I'm going to be able to take off. My PTO is kind of shot, but I'm going to try to take off that week so I can play this game all week and have a great time. Any other thoughts on Pokemon? Or if not, we can move on.
No, I don't got any more.
No, I think I'm good for now.
Okay.
Looking forward to more information.
Big true. We will have a Pokemon-themed episode come out sometime next month here at GameStatic.
Allegedly.
No, it's happening. I promise. GameStatic, like I said, I announced last week, will be starting to become live shows at the beginning of July. Any extra episodes that we do, there'll still be a numbered episode like this one, whatever, but anything where it's kind of specific topic based, that one will probably just be pre-recorded. So that week you'll get the live episode, and then a couple days later I'll release the Pokemon episode. So looking forward to that. All right, last talking point. Sonic Frontiers. Finally got a first look at this game from IGN first. And for the way they're kind of talking is that all throughout this month of June, they're going to continue to release more information on the game. They first released it was a 7-minute trailer of just getting around the world. There was no combat. World looked very empty. Showed off a couple of the puzzles that were very basic. But I mean, the thing is about that first trailer, you don't need to necessarily sell us on the world. Us as Sonic fans are already kind of sold on the world and the mindset of it being open world. We're already sold on that. We wanted to see more of the combat. In terms of just kind of getting around, I mean, it looked fun. You're running around at the speed of sound, so that's what you want to do. Running up walls, running along walls. And that was another thing as well, because there was a couple moments at the beginning of that trailer where it looked like there was only certain walls you can necessarily run up, and there was another point later where it's Sonic was down in I think a river sort of area and started running on the side of the mountain, whatever. So that's good that it points that you can literally just kind of do anything, kind of like Link can climb anything in Breath of the Wild, kind of the same vibe. That's good. If we're gonna include puzzles in this world, we got to get more creative, because those puzzles all right, turn this, okay, the door open, cool. It's kind of basic. I saw a lot of people making fun of it, where it's it literally just looked like an Unreal Engine tech demo. They just took a generic world from Unreal Engine tech demo, threw it in, threw Sonic in, and boom, there you go. There's the gameplay trailer. I'm yeah, I can see that. I mean, again, getting around, we're already kind of sold on that. Need to see the combat. We did get the combat trailer yesterday. Another 7 minutes of that as well. I like what they're going for the combat.
It seemed really tedious.
That's one of my complaints, but I like what they're going for in terms of really pushing what Sonic is known for, and what he has used in the past and in previous games. But the problem is, it felt very tedious, and it felt very they didn't do a lot. They kept it very much to homing attacks, his fast kicks and the little wind stuff that he'll do. They kept it very much to a small pool of stuff. And that's where I have concerns. Are we going to expand on that? There's been leaks in the past that Sonic will have a skill tree. I think that the leak that had Sonic as a skill tree was the one that actually had correctly the Sonic Frontiers name. I remember us talking about it at one point. I think that was the same leak. So I'm hoping that is the case, and he does have a skill tree, and we can expand on this combat, because the combat just seemed, while it was good in terms of they're doing well to make it feel like Sonic, it just felt tedious and like there wasn't enough. You know what I mean? That was the main complaint.
If it takes me 3 minutes to kill anything on encounter, I'll just be like, fuck this. I'm not even going to bother killing anything.
Yeah, see, and that was the other thing is that, like, you know, in terms of being tedious, it's like everything just felt like it took forever to kill. You know what I mean? So I have concerns, you know, because right now this game is still slated for this year. And I don't know, I kind of feel like maybe in a way Sega's kind of putting these out just to, you know, really get it kind of a feel from the audience. And because Sega is really trying to push for this game not to be a flop. They've already flat out stated that, where it's like, we're really trying hard not to get, you know, bad review scores. We're going for a high review score this time. Literal quote from them. So I hope that with the feedback they're kind of getting, because like the feedback from Sonic fans have been it's been very mixed, is I hope they take the feedback and at this point just delay the game again. That's my stance on it, is just delay the game again next year. If it comes out this year, cool. I'm still going to fucking get it day one. We'll see how it is. I'm a massive Sonic fan, but my hopes are still high because the idea is phenomenal, but it's like I said before, it's fucking Sega. It is Sega, so we'll see. We'll see what they do. But I mean, there were parts that impressed me. There's also a lot of things that concern me. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see more when they, I guess, throughout the rest of this month with the IGN first. We'll probably see more here maybe this upcoming Thursday for Summer Game Fest. But at this point, just delay the game. Just like, you know, give it a few weeks from now. Just watch. We'll get maybe next month we'll get the announcement. Oh, Sonic Frontier is delayed to early 2023. It's like, all right, cool. I'm fine with that. Honestly, I'm perfectly fine with that. Take more time. Keep this thing in the oven. Don't repeat a Sonic 06, please. Don't do that.
Even though you rave about it.
You got to admire what they tried to do. I got to be real. I mean, the game is a broken ass mess of a game, but there's a lot of things where you look at it and you got to admire what they're trying to do. In fact,
there's a difference between admiring it and raving about it.
Look, I do rave about that as a guilty pleasure of mine, okay? I will not lie. I will also give a special shout out involving Sonic 06. There is one particular fan of the Sonic franchise that has been basically remaking Sonic 06.
Oh, yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, Sonic P06 is the official title. It even has its own Wikipedia page. Making a lot of progress. As far as I know, they're completely done with Sonic's story. They're now working everything through Shadows, and they've just been making a lot of quality of life improvements. I saw an update from just earlier and completely eliminating the entire UI of the game and replacing with something brand new that looks clean as shit. And you know what the funny part is about this? This person's never played the original Sonic 06.
That's funny.
They're just a Sonic fan who's never played that game, and they're just like, that game is complete trash. I'm going to remake it. They're doing a great job. Shout out to them. One day it'll be a thing. And Sega's just letting it happen. You know, they are. And I'm glad. Just keep letting it happen, because Sonic 06 deserves a redemption arc, because it's just a broken mess of a game. The only problems with that game is it's a giant broken disaster, and Sonic gets with a human chick. That's the only thing that's wrong about the game.
Is that the one where Sonic hooks up with a human?
Yep.
Yeah. Basically, what I got out of that is the only thing wrong with the game is the game.
I mean, that's not inaccurate. But if Sonic P06 turns out as incredible as it looks, and there is like some demos that you can play of some of the Sonic stuff, and everyone says it's great. Sonic 06 is going to get its redemption arc, okay, and it deserves its redemption arc, even though it almost killed the brand. But anyway, all right, so let's hit the weekly wrap up and finish up the show here. So first up, Summer Game Fest partner lineup. I'm going to run through this real quick. Of everyone that we know is going to be there in some capacity. 2K, Activision. So much for that, right? You know, Jeff, just end of last year, it's like, yeah, Activision will not be a part of Game Awards. And it's funny how just a few months can change some things. But yes, Activision, Atlas, Bandai Namco, Bloober Team. That's one to keep an eye on, because that's the one with the rumors of Silent Hill. I think it was the Silent Hill 2 remake. I think okay. What it was. So keep an eye on that one. Capcom, Coffee Stain, Deep Silver, Devolver Digital Extremes, Dotemu. How do you pronounce that one? Whatever. EA, Epic Games, Focus Entertainment, Frost Giant, Humble Games, Level Infinite, Mediatonic, MiHero, Tech Otaku Save the World. I made sure to include the entire name, because like it has like their main name. MiHoYo, yes, thank you. And then it actually says, you know, Tech Otaku Save the World underneath. I thought that was funny. Netflix will be there. Interesting. PlayStation, Raw Fury. Samsung, Sega, Square Enix, Skybound Games, Steam, Studio MDHR, Tribeca Festival, WB Games, and then lastly, of course, Xbox. Speaking of Xbox, I got some Xbox rumors here for you. So the first one, kind of disappointing. I put this in the other day. You were not happy about it, Zach. Neither am I. So there's a rumor that Fable is having to be scaled back due to the Forza tech. So kind of depressing about that one, if that is true. Another rumor is expect Avowed and Contraband to be at Summer Game Fest. I fully anticipate them to be there in some capacity. I would expect them to be at that showcase on Sunday. And lastly, word is picking up quick that the Gears 6 reveal and the Gears collection will in fact be revealed at this Summer Games Fest. Not the actual day one, but their personal event. So keep an eye on for that one as well. Next piece of news here. Dragon Age 4 gets its official name, Dragon Age Dreadwolf. It's also confirmed for a 2023 release. Zach, as someone who's played the Dragon Age series, does the name Dreadwolf have like a lot of heavy impact like on what you think this would all be about? Because obviously I have not, so I don't know. Like, is this a big deal? Like,
it makes me think of a mercenary unit, but I mean, you don't deal with a whole lot of mercenaries throughout Dragon Age, but that's what it makes me think of.
Okay, so the name itself doesn't have any relevance as of now?
Not unless there was some mention of it through the loads of extra readable content and Inquisition.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious about that, if you knew if Dreadwolf had any like impact on the story in some capacity, like it was some big deal, because I didn't know if it was or not. Next thing, which is kind of sad because we just talked about this like a few weeks ago, that it felt like it was being back on a decent track, but Sands of Time Remake is no longer projected for fiscal year 2023. Project is delisted and pre-orders can be refunded. And like the quote was something along the lines is like, if you want to go refund your pre-order, feel free. It's fine, until the project kind of gets back on track. I'm like, God damn, how much did this get prom forward? Like, did this get that fucked in the develop process? I'm just glad that they're, because they just passed it off to, it was Ubisoft Montreal is who they just passed it off to, which is great. They're the original creators. But maybe once they got the package of it, of what the previous devs were doing, they were just like, yeah, boss, this is going to take us a lot longer to fix than we thought.
I mean, there's going to be some people who are going to pull the Duke Nukem thing and just not get the refund and already have it paid off for whatever it comes in. Yeah.
The first thing that I thought of as well when it comes to that, where it's just like Ubisoft Montreal got the project and they're just like, whoa, this is going to take us a lot longer. It's kind of like when CD Projekt Red here recently made the announcement that, Witcher 3 Next Gen is just delayed indefinitely. We don't know when it's coming out. That's because they pulled it from that Russian studio back into their own hands, and they basically just had to see how far along did they get? And then once I guess they figured out, they're like, okay, yeah, it's not that bad. Then there's like, oh yeah, it's coming out later this year. So I kind of see it related kind of like that, where Ubisoft Montreal got the project and they're like, ugh, yeah, this is just delay this indefinitely. This is going to take a while. So hopefully we'll get some update at some point. And last little piece of news for this week is Madden 23 cover was in fact revealed to be John Madden, to no one's surprise. Rest in peace. This moment of silence for the legendary John Madden. Moment has passed.
Also, that's not the last piece of news. You can't stop me. Lost Ark got its summer roadmap.
Last piece of news I had.
Yeah. Lost Ark got its basically its July/summer roadmap. New class coming, I believe it's July, Arcana, and they announced they're releasing a new class every 2 months until the end of the year.
Okay.
And they did confirm as well that the newer classes are not coming. The newer classes in like Korea are not coming first. They're starting not necessarily in the same order that they released in, but they're starting with the older classes that were released first.
Gotcha.
So just had to throw that in there real quick.
I know you did.
So when are you going to get your Lost Ark button?
A Lost Ark. Oh, yeah, I need to get something. Yeah, I got to figure that out. Well, we are getting the new caster soon. So we'll figure something out for it. I also need to know what would be a good, what would be a good effect? You know what I mean? Like, would there be something from the game that would work? Would there be some sort of phrase that I would have you record, since you record all of our effects apparently? Like, what? I mean, I'm fine with getting one on here, but what is it going to be? I don't know what it's going to be. You guys tell me. I don't know.
You can't stop me. Lost Ark.
I could.
The thing is,
I could clip that.
I gotta bring it in when I'm surprising him.
I could clip that. It's like, you can't stop me. Lost Ark time.
I gotta start throwing him in at random so he's not expecting it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
you can just do what I do on Animate. I just yell him, hit the button.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all. That's all you got to do is just say hit the button. Just all right, hit, click. All right, let's go.
The best thing was when I started saying it, he looked so confused.
He was very.
I was, yeah.
He's like, what does he got? Oh shit, it's lost.
Yeah. Oh man. Zach, you got anything? Any other thoughts on anything?
No, TFT is going to get its new season here in a week.
Oh, yeah,
What was it? It was announced today.
I don't know if the date has been announced yet.
I don't know
but
either.
the season ends, or this set ends on, what is it? Monday.
Yes.
It ends on Monday, so usually it's right after that the set comes out.
They revealed a little bit of it, but not a whole lot.
I'll be looking forward to that. Been playing some TFT here recently.
Yeah, the new set's been on the PBE.
Yeah, the dragons thing.
Yeah, people have been finding the bugs, and I've seen clips of Mort Dog, who's one of the TFT. He's like the face of the TFT team, like him playing and talking about some of the bugs, explaining why some of like the augments and that are going to be removed when it goes live.
Yeah, I'll be playing that. I've been playing TFT recently here at night, just kind of vibing. I'm also gonna, I guess, continue to play Diablo Immortal. I did download that yesterday. Started playing that today, so I'm gonna continue to play that. As I said, I would a very long time ago because I just memed on it for so long for this show. I felt obligated to at this point.
Speaking of that, man, people call Lost Ark pay to win. Man. You're playing the real pay-to-win game.
Shit, no joke. What you told me makes me not want to play it at all. What was the price to max out your character, you said? Like $100K?
Yeah, it was like an article I saw where I don't know if the math was accurate or if it was just kind of like napkin math. But it's like it was projecting like to fully max out your character as much as possible could cost up to $100K.
That's unbelievable. Well, I'll continue to play it, just get a general vibe for the game, and then I'll probably never play it again because that's a lot. That really demotivates me from wanting to play.
Well, that's the thing is I've seen posts from people playing it that are playing it free to play, who are like, well, the game is fun. It seems like people are enjoying the game, which if you're gonna make a pay to win game, that's how you have to do it.
Yes,
you have to make the game fun. And then that way the people that are enjoying it feel more like they should pay.
Obligated that they'll pay for it.
Because it's like they'll see people they'll see people getting further ahead because they're swiping their card and they go, maybe I need to swipe my card.
Right. Well, I got nothing else if you guys don't.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay. The only thing left is with actually this episode, I'm actually going to release this one early. I'm not going to release it on Tuesday. I'm actually going to get this edited like tonight and release it first thing for in the morning. But other than that, just a friendly reminder that this week we got a lot of content coming out because Thursday we're recording for Summer Game Fest. Depending on what time we record, honestly, that episode could literally just come out that night. Like, I mean, I'll turn around and get it edited either for Friday morning or it's going to come out that Thursday night. I'm putting out an episode. I guess I'll go ahead and hit the music too while I'm kind of leading this out.
I forgot we were doing that.
Yeah. Thursday, Summer Game Fest episode. And then we'll do our normal episode on Saturdays we normally do. I'll release that one probably immediately that night or Sunday. We'll be talking about Mario Strikers Battle League and the Quarry. Then we'll do an episode for Xbox Bethesda Showcase on Sunday. That one will be released pretty much immediately. And then we'll do an episode for whenever Nintendo does something as well, which I think will probably be next Tuesday is what I think, but I don't know. And then if anything else pops out that needs an episode for it, we may do it. This is our busy season. We got a lot of content we're pumping out for all this. Very, very busy. All right, boys, pass it off to you. Last thoughts, got here.
Like, comment, subscribe, rate, whatever your platform allows. It does help. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can hit that subscribe and help us build up our YouTube channel. You can also hit that bell to notify you when any video goes up, especially with this week coming up when we're going to be posting quite a bit of Game Static stuff and anything. If you're not able to follow up with Summer Games Fest, thank you.
Yep, do everything he said more, and if you made it to the end, thank you very much, and hopefully you'll come check us out during this busy week we're about to have.
busiest week of the year for us. This is our Super Bowl season. Super pumped for it. There's going to be a lot of great announcements at Summer Game Fest, Xbox Bethesda Showcase, whatever. It's gonna be a lot of great shit. I'm super excited for it. Definitely do everything they said and more, as well as check us out at our website, sparky3.com. You can sign up for free, or you sign up $5 a month. Check out the merch store as well, sparky3shop.com. Join the Discord, link down in the description below. Great way to be in contact with us, especially once we start live streaming. Go follow us on Twitter at GamesTechPod. Check out the other shows like at Animan Podcast, at Terrible FB Show, talking about movies and stuff, and Spark Bark. With that said, guys, until next time, have a good one. See ya.